Hi there. My name's Dean, and I wanted to share my story around the NWTA. A friend of mine asked me to give him something in writing, and I just decided that make a video would be a lot easier and would also allow me to communicate, be able to feel the experiences that I had. But essentially, I just went through NWTA weekend this May, and I was at a point in my life where I was having a lot of things coming up in my relationships and my life in general, to where it was really becoming unmanageable. And I had heard about MKP and had known about MKP for quite a while. I have some very good friends of mine that have been through the weekend and are part of the MKP, I guess, brotherhood would be a good way to put it. And I really got pushed up against the wall. There was places in my life where I couldn't do anything, and I just decided at last minute to get to the one I did was out in New Mexico. And just so you know, I live in Illinois, and I just had went out to southwestern Colorado and came back and decided that I needed to go do this thing 2 weeks later, and actually drove back out to New Mexico. And so it was a big commitment for me to make. But I just felt like for some reason I had to get there, and I did. And since then, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I went into the weekend totally open, totally ready to take on whatever it was. I was at a place in my life where I really wanted to get to another level. I really wanted to do whatever it took to create the life that I've seen, and for some reason I just couldn't get there. And so I went into the weekend wide open and ready for whatever was coming at me. And I'll tell you what, I have not done anything in my life that has affected me in the way that the NWTA, the New Warrior Training Adventure, has affected me personally. It has taken me to new depths inside of myself. It's allowed me to be a better dad. It's allowed me to be a better businessman, a better artist. It's allowed me to be a better friend. And it's also allowed me to be the kind of man that I've always wanted to see out in the world, and I'm working on that. And in fact, in about the last three and a half months, I don't think I've seen more change in myself than the last 20 years. It has made a huge difference in my life, a huge difference in my family's life, in my community, and really right across the board. The other thing that I wanted to convey is that what you step into once you get through that initiation, which is probably the most intense thing I've ever done, and it is just I would say not to be taken lightly. This is some pretty heavy duty stuff. One of the friends that I had that I followed into this weekend based on what he was telling me and the experience I had seen him have in his life personally. One of the things he says, you know, I got your back. Just know when you come out, you're going to have a whole band of brothers that are going to be there for you and welcome you in. And it's true, and it's unbelievable. So I left New Mexico on a Sunday and did my graduation up in southwestern Colorado. And I was coming back to Illinois. I was really nervous about it because I was coming to St. Louis, or in the central Illinois. The only closest group was St. Louis, and that's about a 2-hour drive for me. And I didn't know anybody out here. I didn't know other MKP brothers. I didn't know who to connect with. And you know, at my graduation, very last part of the night, I ran into a guy who had initiated with another man who was just starting a new I group, a new pit training, and you'll learn more about what that is, but here in St. Louis, and it looked like I was going to be able to loop into that. And another friend of mine hooked me up with another leader here out in St. Louis. I rolled out of that Thursday night, Sunday, Thursday in Colorado, came back that Saturday. I connected with the St. Louis MKP community. One of the leaders had followed up with me right away, volunteered to meet me on Saturday to get me up to speed on the pit group that was going on, and I went right into a pit training, which is personal integration training in St. Louis, like 1, 2, 3, just like bam, and was accepted, understood. All the stuff that was going on in St. Louis was mirrored to what I did in New Mexico, and also my other friends in Colorado. Is unbelievable. I got into this group. We just finished our pit cycle. I've got a new group of brothers that I'm with here in St. Louis. We're getting ready to do our first service project out there. We're working with I think it's called the Hope Lodge, and it's for cancer patients, and we're going to put on a big meal for everybody coming up this Tuesday, actually. It has been seamless, and everything that they've done, everywhere I've been in MKP has been the same. It felt the same, that everybody accepts, brings you in, connects with you the same. It's just been an unbelievable experience. So if you're thinking about doing an NWTA, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. If you feel you can't do it because of finances, don't let that hold you back. I had the same excuse. These guys work with you, and you might have heard them say that. They do. And whatever you can, whenever you can, maybe it's this one, maybe it's the next one, whenever it is, but as soon as you can, if you're called to do this work, you need to get there. You need to do whatever it takes. And so I'm going to end with that. Thanks for hearing me get on my soapbox and talk to you about Mankind Project, and I'm going to go turn my camera off so you can see me walk that way.